3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone and welcome to Dimensions of Love. How lovely it is of you to join us here in this Pick a Shell weekend message that we have been doing for several weeks now to practice our intuition, to connect with the moon and our feminine aspect, and to heal the collective in knowing how our intuition works in our lives. So if you're new here, that is what we will be doing in this Pick a Shell reading. If you have randomly clicked on this video, then Spirit has a message for you to whichever pile you've been drawn to. To others of you that are returning, how wonderful it is for us to connect. Thank you for being here. And like we say every week, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Pick the pile. If you don't know which one you should pick, try to look at the shape of the shell. And if you still don't know, try to pick the shell that you feel most uncomfortable with. Because sometimes we usually pick what we like mostly. And if you don't find any shell that feels likable to you, then that weekend message for you is to pick a shell that you dislike to try to understand the opposite of yourself, because we have both polarities within us. So use your discernment when you're picking your pile. Don't pick by a number or have always the same. Let your mind be fresh and start fresh. Every weekend that you're picking a pile, try to pick like that. Don't let the mind over analyze you to tell you that pile number 3 will be the best, or pile number 1 is the best, or pick in the middle, it's always the best. Just look at the shell purely of how it looks and how it feels to you. So this is how you can train your intuition most powerfully. And you've always been intuitive. This is just to practice to regain this, because we've lost this over time by the world and how the world has been operating. So pick your shell 1, 2, and 3, and let's start another wonderful session of messages from Spirit to you all. And if you want to recap it, always look at this video on Sunday and see how it resonated, so that you can see how it fell into your life and into your 3D reality with your emotions and so on and so forth. So let's start and open this reading. If you picked shell number 1, then these are your messages, collective. This is your shell, and your card is the moon. Okay, so in my meditation, what I felt for you guys in pile number 1, the shell is saying that you are going to sacrifice something in the now, which will benefit you in the long run. A little fun fact about this shell is that this shell can lose a limb of itself so that the crab doesn't focus on eating it up. And while the crab is focusing on that particular limb or leg that it has lost, all of a sudden it releases a toxin from itself, making the crab become paralyzed. And now all of a sudden it's changed roles. So now this beautiful shell has the ability to take control of the situation. It kind of becomes reversed. So here with the moon, what I'm sensing for you guys in pile number 1 is that, you see on this picture of the moon here, she is kind of going deep. So the moon is the subconscious, and it is working with the moon. So with the moon phases. So I feel like you're very connected to the moon and the phases, and and how it affects your waters within yourself. What it's saying here to you guys in pile number one is it might be difficult to see this situation as being benefit because you feel like you're going to lose. But just like she is going deep into this water, this might be heavy when you drop into the water, and it will pull you down all the way to the bottom, but not to sink. See, when you will reach the bottom is when you actually will release all of this baggage, and all of a sudden you will start to float up. And now when you're floating above the surface, everything is clear to you because you've been in the bottom and now you are at the top of the water and you can see everything, okay? So this is what it's saying to you, that for this weekend, something will happen to you, because with the numbers here, it is connecting you and your feminine and your masculine side within yourself. So your feminine and your masculine side are needing to balance each other out, especially the feminine aspect. So when they are coming together here, it feels like a loss because you're supposed to let an old identity go. You're supposed to drop something that isn't you. And it might feel difficult, but Spirit is saying here, in the long run, you are going to win so much more, because you kind of become like the phoenix, like you're rising from the ashes. It burns away and it's difficult, but then you rise even stronger and better, okay? And what was taken away from you as you felt was so threatening becomes threatened of you because you're so powerful now. So everything that you might lose in the situation, however it fall into your life, whatever it is, just know that this sacrifice will benefit you so much. So if you've been waiting for a sign to see, this is your sign. This sacrifice is definitely something that will bring you so much victory in the future if you just do the sacrifice now. So this is a very beautiful card for you guys in pile number one. Definitely make that sacrifice and go deep, dive in deep here, okay? Just know that it will be difficult in the beginning, but that loss is not a great loss. It is a great loss in a sense, but that loss is not that big of a deal compared to the greatness that you will receive, okay? So that was your message for pile number one. It's a lot of subconscious with you guys here in pile number one. So try to find some stillness to calm yourself down and connect with your inner waters. Thank you, pile number one. Have a great weekend, and I hope that this message helped you to move forward in your self-realization and self-discovery. Hello, pile number two. If you picked pile number two, then this is your beautiful shell. And your card is Four of Cups here. Okay. With this shell, there is something that is hidden that will come to light here. Okay. And with the Four of Cups, and also connecting these numbers here, is I definitely feel three people involvement here. There are three people that are involved into something that will, there's a truth that has been hidden involving these three people that will be revealed to you in this weekend. You will have an understanding exactly what Spirit wanted you to show, because I feel Spirit's present in this situation very strongly. Why do I say this? Because on this card, in your meditation, pile number two, I've been very drawn to the cups. You see that these three cups are together. So this is what I feel like. They are very much so close to each other. She's looking away. She's not looking at the cups. She's not looking at the cup that she's about to receive. She's looking completely away into a different direction, okay? So there's a tendency of feeling bored, and you're not happy of the situation that you're in. You're not happy at all. Even though you know that this is happening, you're not seeing the perspective that Spirit wants you to see. Spirit, see, this is divine orchestration here, because there is a situation at hand involving these three people that is difficult, but there's something that you need to see. You need to shift a perspective so that you can gain the knowledge that you're supposed to gain in the situation. There is a lesson here for you to learn. So they're not there for you to suffer, even though that you might feel like you're suffering, and they're probably not doing something that is so great here. I'm not getting any positive energy. So there is a hidden truth, but it's meant to be like that because you're supposed to learn. The second that you learn, all of these three cups, they're gone. Because you see this cup here, the fourth cup is bigger. And you're not looking at this, but you see the fourth cup stands alone. And there's someone, if you can see that there's a hand holding that cup. Which is saying right here, I was being drawn to, and this is not the normal energy of this card, but just that hand there, that it is a human hand, because usually it is a hand from the clouds being given. But I can see here that you are connecting. You are going to be connecting with someone that has gone through this same thing, but not in a trauma bonding way, in a healthy way of that you both learned your lessons in your specific ways, because she's coming together with this cup, but she's not seeing this cup. He or she, it doesn't matter. It's a female in the picture, but you can be male too, it doesn't matter. She's not seeing this cup, but there will be this union between two individuals that will be very lovely. So yes, this might be very boring, and why am I here with these three people? Why is this happening? It feels so boring. I want to move forward. I don't want to be here. But Spirit is saying, no, you need to see a perspective. You need to understand this, because this moving forward in your new relationship, something with this will actually help you to understand your future relationships. So yes, it's been difficult for you guys, because all of these secrets coming out might not be so comfortable, but don't be discouraged and don't get bored of feeling that you're stuck in this energy, because you're not stuck in that energy. You're put in that energy so that you can see a perspective. Spirit keeps saying they need to see the perspective. It's kind of, I feel like, frustrated. Your spirit guides are getting frustrated because you're too much focused on wanting to get out of it, wanting to, I don't want to deal with this. You're missing the lesson there. So try to pause and meditate. If you've never meditated, try to take deep breaths and stay in yourself. Don't let the mind start to have excessive thinking, to think. It's too much thinking, because it's not going to help the situation. It's just going to make it worse and create more problems. So what you need to do is quiet the mind, so it's almost completely silence. If you can get it like that, you're actually in your heart, and the truth will be understood beyond the words and beyond the mind. Okay, so try to contemplate by walking in the forest if it's difficult to quiet the mind, and try to sit a little bit with yourself. Okay, because this boredom will go away. This restlessness that you have, it will go away, but you just need to see that perspective. Okay, that's the last thing that Spirit wants you to do, because you're going to get that gift. Okay, pile number 2, don't worry about that. It is looking very positive and stable here for you guys. I hope that message helped you, pile number 2, and thank you for being here. If you picked pile number 3, you guys, these are your messages. This is your shell, and you got the 7 of Cups here. Okay, pile number 3. You, with this particular shell, let me tell you a story about this shell. This shell is very special, because you have a calling in your life. There is something that you are here to specifically do. Okay, pile number 3. This shell, when you cut off the top of it, you can actually blow in it like a hornet, and Shinto priests in Japan use this when they are going to call in people for prayer, okay? So this is a very special shell for you guys that pick pile number 3, because there is a lot of greatness that you're supposed to do here. Now, why are you getting 7 of Cups here? Okay, this is the message that I'm getting with this 7 of Cups. Not that there are illusions or difficulties, because that is what this card is associated about. In my meditation, I kind of get this energy more of there is a lot of options, okay? You feel that there is a lot of options because all of a sudden now something has opened in you and you have all of these abilities coming in from your ancestor, things that were hidden, that was supposed to be hidden and revealed now because you have a bigger calling in life and it was supposed to wait until it happens, like a blooming, okay? And now you're ready to bloom. So which way are you picking? Perhaps you quit your old job, the way that you lived before, the connection that you have. Like you've changed a lot here, okay? With you. That is the energy that I'm feeling here, pile number 3. But this is meant to be like this. But you're questioning. Should I take this? What if I do this? And what if it's wrong? Like it might be a snake in one of those cups, as you can see there. It might be a bat. But it might be something very beautiful also. What Spirit is saying, you will never know the outcome of which direction that you pick. You will never be able to decide that, okay, this is the best option. And I feel pile number 3, you're trying to figure out what is the best option. Where will be the Spirit is saying you're not going to find it. You're not going to find it. You just need to pick whatever that you pick. You need to pick it because your higher self will direct you after you make your pick. Because it's not about, we always have a free will, okay? And especially when you have a calling in life, it's not written down in details of how you're going to get there. So there are different qualities that you will pick up on your way to this life path that will be created. And how the road will become, Spirit gives us the freedom to choose. It becomes more fun for consciousness to explore these different paths than to already know in advance how everything will be. Even though everything is written for us, especially when we have a calling in life, there is still this little magical moments of picking these roads, so it becomes more exciting for your spirit team, for them to explore, because your higher self will always direct you. So if you pick something that wasn't completely what it's supposed to be, Spirit will still give you something from it. You will still learn something from it before you switch into, like, they will course correct constantly wherever that you're going, as long as you're launching forward into something that you believe in. Okay, this will benefit me and I can be at service to the world in this way. And then your higher self will course correct. So this is a strong message for you guys. This weekend, when you're writing down, it will be good for you to write it down. What is it that I want? And how do I get there? Instead of thinking about the past, think about the future. Because thinking about the past and the future, it doesn't exist. So going back doesn't help. It will not show you traits of where you need to go in the future. You're in the now. What do you have in the now that has blossomed, that you can use these natural talents into moving forward, into picking whatever cup? Because Spirit is saying whatever cup that you pick, your higher self will connect with you and course direct you, and every cup will benefit you. So there is no right or wrong. Okay, this is what I need you to understand, pile number 3. Whatever that you choose will be the right for you. Okay, you will get what you need from that cup. So it's better to pick something than to not pick and to procrastinate and say, well, I don't know if it's going to benefit me or if it's going to be bad. And then we're judging it from the past, and then the mind gets involved, which messes a lot of things up. So just write down, how do you want to see it in the future? Where do you see yourself? Where do you believe that you see yourself? And then move towards that step by step, taking something, a new course, a new direction, a new location to live. It's these small steps that will make up for it, and you will get there no matter what you choose to do, because you're meant to do something great. I'm feeling highest priestess, Hierophant. It is a lot of energies that you've been here before, pile number 3. You know this. You're here to give the world some type of healing in some way. And it doesn't matter how you go towards that. Spirit will help you here. So I hope that gives you comfort. And whatever that you do, I will say in advance here before it happens for you guys, that thank you for being in the service for everyone else and having that courage to, whatever it is that you will do, to spread it to the world and to help to heal us all. So thank you, pile number 3. I hope that these messages helped you. Thank you all for your likes, shares, and subscribes, and for being here, for sharing this moment, for practicing your intuition, because it does make a difference. When we're just consuming as we do in this modern world, we're just so used to consuming. And when we are rising up to higher layers of consciousness, we are starting to consume knowledge. And it becomes this obsession of just consuming, consuming, consuming. And there's never enough time to digest. So with these pick a shell readings that we do here, it's just to bring that back to, we can never actually just consume, because it doesn't stick to us in the same way as when we are practicing it, like we're doing now. We're looking at this and see how it plays out in our life, and then we're coming back to see. You see, when you practice something, you have to put it in action, because if you don't put it in action, the knowledge that you've learned just rises and then it ceases. And then it's like you didn't even remember it. So try to use your actions, because it's been pushed by spirit that, again, the higher we go, the same patterns come along. So this consumption of first consuming things, consuming emotions, consuming relationship, and now we're releasing that. So we go higher. Then we start to consume knowledge. We start to consume different practices to advance ourselves, and it's too much. We need to like keep it simple and also integrate everything that we've learned by doing these practices. This is a simple way just to reprogram the mind of, when you're learning something, make sure to pause and then to integrate it by putting it in action. It doesn't matter if you read something, if you do something, you need to, whatever chapter that you're reading, if you're reading some book that is giving you knowledge, from that chapter, do one action. And if you do that in every chapter, I promise you, the book that you've started to read, you will consume it in a different way. It will become actualized in you. Then if you just read it through and then you're off to the next book. So it's better to have more knowledge and to stand with one book and know it fully than to just keep consuming. So this is in a way to stop consuming and to reconnect, use your intuition, and to pause and to practice in this way. Not too much practice either, just simple and little. So I like to thank you all for being here and doing this, because this is really amazing for you guys that you're doing this and that you're getting a message from Spirit and that it helps. So thank you as always. It is an honor to be here with you. And I'm always sending you love and light, and I hope to see you here next week on these sessions. So as always, have a wonderful day. Sending love your way. Bye, everyone.